It's really a blessing. You know, this place was here for a long time, but we didn't know about it. Ah, okay. Funny.
We're going to start with our congregational song while our board member arrives, I think. That's the way it's going to work. Tony? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Bring that down a bit. We'll all stand, please, for congregational song. Thank you. I open my eyes to the love all around. Now I've found the Spirit in me. open my heart to the love all around. Now I have found the Spirit in me, the Spirit in me. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm Jack Ragland. I'm a prayer chaplain here at UoT, and this morning it is my honor and privilege to open the service by lighting the Christ candle and reading the word of the day. Now that I've found the candle starter, we light the Christ candle as a symbol of the divine light of Christ, which is in every one of us and all around us, emanating our love and compassion for the whole world and everyone with whom we come in contact. The word for today is world peace. The affirmation, the peace of my soul brings peace to the world. The biblical reference is from the second book of Isaiah, verse 4. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not raise sword against nations. The Bible's sacred pairings, lions and lambs, swords and plowshares, reveal that peace becomes possible when I and others hold life's polarities in harmony. These verses remind me that wholeness arises not from opposition, but from integration. Within all people, strength and tenderness, boundaries and compassion, courage and vulnerability arise from the same divine source. Lion and lamb are not rivals. They are facets of one creation. Sword and plow are not contradictions. They are different tools for transformation. Peace begins when we see that all opposites, both within and around us, can be allies rather than adversaries. As this realization takes root, any impulse to defend or harden begins to fade. Let's read this affirmation together 2 times through. The peace of my soul brings peace to the world. And so it is. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Jackie Berrigan, and I am here to announce that I've completed my certification course for Unity's Spirit Group Leader. Thank you. And I'm hosting an informational meeting next Sunday at 7 p.m. on Zoom. This virtual meeting is for anyone who wants to review Spirit Group basics, and especially for anyone who is going to plan on hosting or facilitating a future Spirit Group. There's a lot of exciting changes happening after the fall season, and I'm actually very excited myself personally. One of them that is coming is that Spirit groups will no longer have to be just book studies. So they're not limited to only looking at books. It could be anything, such as like a mom's group meeting once a week at a park, like for play dates. It could be a conversation and coffee group where you meet at a coffee place and discuss whatever topics you want to share. It could be a hiking and walking group. Those are just some ideas. Arts and crafts group. And not only that, but then there's also more flexibility in terms of how long these groups last. They're no longer a set number of weeks. They can be ongoing, or they can be as short or as long as you wish them to be. They also don't have to meet like once a week. They could be as frequent or infrequent as you want. But these changes don't eliminate the previous format. We can still do book studies if that's what you choose. There's simply just alternative ways that we can run spirit groups. Let me see, I'm looking at my notes. And speaking of book studies, something that we want to note that's very important for this upcoming Sunday meeting is that this meeting will help us refresh and train facilitators for our all fall program that is currently being worked on. We need many helping hands to help facilitate our book study groups for the fall, and that could be you. So it's very important to attend this meeting on next Sunday at 7. And this fall, Unity is generously providing a copy of the book for anyone who facilitates. So that's exciting too. On a personal note, I will say that being a group facilitator or host is a very rewarding and meaningful way to make a difference and to give back to our community who does so much for us. And also you serve as a conduit for connection and an example to others in your groups to become leaders themselves. And as a member of a spirit group, I think for me, it was a very important way to form connections and friendships outside of Unity that went out and beyond. So my email address, if you have any questions about this upcoming meeting, is on the back of the bulletin. And that's it. I hope to see a lot of you there online. And now we'll have another song from Hitoshi Suzuki.
So we can feel this morning that when we pranam to each other this way, when we bow to the divine in each other, that this is a deep form of prayer, isn't it? Maybe the highest. Just to recognize God in each other, the Buddha, the Christ in each other. Let's go ahead and close our eyes. If you like, you can leave your hands folded. But you can bring them back so that the back of your hands touch your heart. Or you can put your right palm over your heart, or your fingertips, including your thumb, touching the center of your chest. And as we come to pray this morning, though the prayer is already started, let your awareness just sink down into the area of your heart for a moment. You might contemplate just for a moment, how often have I been aware of this space this week? Without beating up on yourself. So often the space that we are aware of, and we all know this, is in our head. But there is a greater intelligence, even science is telling us this now, in the heart. Much more intelligent than the mind or the brain. So as you take a breath, as we take a mindful breath, with one mindful breath this morning, breathe it as if through an opening in your chest, right into your heart, right where you're feeling right now. Breathe it in. As you breathe out, let your awareness begin to settle there, right in the heart, down from the mind, from the brain. Take another one of those breaths. And this time as we take one on the out breath, let's make the ah sound together. In fact, it's feeling so good this morning. Let's make the yummy sound. Yeah, like that. That makes me smile. I'm laughing right now just hearing all you do that. Not over a cookie or, some delicious meal or laying in an easy chair. No, just over your breathing. Okay, let's take a breath into the heart. Sink into the heart. Let's do another one. Breathe. Smile like the Buddha. One more. Feel it. Now I just ask you to notice, we've been together just a few moments, doing a little breathing, a little yumming. Look how much more present you are already. And this is the whole point of the Dharma talk today. Feel it. And now as you breathe into the heart again, bring your prayer this morning. Bring the prayer as if you are on your knees in your heart to the divine that you are. To God, the Buddha, the Christ, the Tao. You know better than I do what you need. And so pray for a moment for what you need, what you feel you're lacking, what you wish you had more of. And for those that may be going through financial lack or something's missing in your life materially, pray for that. But it's interesting, there's a great Buddhist sage, Nichiren, who said, before you breathe or before you pray for something, pray for what that something, the feeling it would give you if you had it. A very powerful teaching. But bring your prayer to your heart this morning. And as Christ said, know that before you pray it, it's already answered. And begin to let your prayer dissolve into silence. The great Christian mystic Meister Eckhart said, way, way back, where your prayer ends, the words end, silence begins, and silence is the presence of God. We might finish our time of prayer with a deep thank you internally. A feeling of gratitude for what we already have. For this beautiful moment together, just as it is. Perhaps we can repeat to ourselves as we end our prayer, this is enough. Feel it. Let's take another mindful breath together. On the next mindful breath, repeat to yourself, breathing in, I have arrived. Breathing out, I am home. Breathe in. Breathing in, I arrive. Breathing out, I am home. Home in the present moment. Right here. Let's listen to these words from Thich Nhat Hanh about the power of the breath. Breathe and understand that you are alive. Breathe and understand that everything is helping you. Breathe and understand that you are the world. Breathe in compassion and breathe out joy. Breathe and be one with the air that you breathe. Breathe and be one with the flowing river. Breathe and be one with the land that you walk on. Breathe and discard the idea of birth and death. Breathe and you will see that impermanence is life. Breathe for your joy of being stable and serene. Breathe to renew all of the cells of your blood. Breathe to renew the depths of consciousness. Breathe and live in the here and now. Breathe and everything you touch will be new and real. Feel the breath this morning as if for the first time, because it's always the first time when you have a mindful breath. And as you breathe this morning, notice where you are. Notice that you're here, that everything is now. Notice that even the mind, as it plays and thinks and does what minds do, it's doing it right now. Notice that you're not breathing in the past. Notice that you're not drawing a breath in the future, even though we may spend a lot of time thinking about the future. Each breath is delivered now. To be aware of this is called mindful breathing. This mindful breathing is the anchor to the present moment, and this is what meditation is all about. Every technique of meditation, and there are only two real techniques of meditation. All technique is about delivering us to where we always are. Isn't that strange? It's strange that we wouldn't know where we are. But rarely, if we're honest, rarely do we know. If we're spinning in our mind, distracted. So today, as we sit and we continue to breathe mindfully, continue to enjoy your breathing, which is happening now, and feel it. You might feel it move as if you're through your nose, but don't be stingy. Feel as if you're breathing through your forehead, the center of your forehead, and let this breath sweep your mind. It will do it. Sweeping the mind of all debris. We could say sweeping the mind of everything that is not right now. As you breathe out, the out breath carries all that debris out. All the distractions. All the things that we think are more important than this eternal moment, our life. And for a few breaths now, breathe in, let it sweep the mind, and get a sense that your in-breath is arcing up toward the crown of your head. Breathing in to the middle of your head, and up it goes. You might lift your interior gaze as you do this gently, as if you're looking through your forehead. And just for a moment, I invite you, as you breathe mindfully, to also feel what you feel at the crown of your head. What's going on up there this morning? Look and see. For some of you, it can feel that the crown of your head is wide open to the space above you. That space of tranquility and peace that is in the space not only above you, but all around you and within you. And as you take your next in-breath, feel that you're breathing down through the crown of your head now. That's fun. Breathe it down right into the middle of your head again. And get a sense that your awareness is taking up residence right in the middle of your head, though you don't need to visualize anything, just feel it. And from that point, let your awareness again look out through the middle of your forehead. This can feel good. Looking out into a vast open sky of peace, of awareness. And as the breath comes again now, it flows through the forehead. Just follow it in to its end. Feel it through the nose all the way to its peak. And notice as you do that this morning that there is a little gap or pause that's there naturally before the out-breath moves out. This can be quite a discovery. I talk about it a lot because every time I go there, it's as if I discover it for the first time. And if you want to lengthen that just a little bit, you can do that, but you don't have to. It's there. And as you breathe in and you come to that space between the in and the out breath, get a sense of your awareness just falling into that, like falling into the arms of the beloved. In fact, if you want, you can get a sense of falling backwards into its arms off a high cliff with total trust. It has you. And then the out breath goes out naturally. Follow it out. And notice as the out breath ends, there's perhaps a little longer space for you to rest in. Maybe not, but just rest in that. That's a full, mindful breath. There is the in-breath. There is the beautiful space between the in and the out breath. And by the way, many, many sages have told us that that space between your in and out breath, that is the space of God, the Christ, the Buddha, Feel it. That's you. And then you follow the out breath all the way out. You ride it out into that perhaps longer space where you can rest again. And that is a full, mindful breath. Breathe this way for a few moments. Without effort. Without struggle, your breath will support you in being here. And when you find, which might happen, mysteriously, that your awareness drifts off into the mind of thinking, the mind of past and future, and anywhere but here, this is not a problem. Notice this morning that something in you that's not the mind has woken up, that you've gone away from your breath. This is miraculous. This is the beginning of spiritual freedom. This is the beginning of waking up to who you are. And you come back and you incline again into the arms of the breath. You anchor again. And if you go off, you come back again and again and again and again. And where do you come back to? Right now. Because God is now. God is in no other space but here and now. You are that. The Buddha, the one who is awake to this. So breathe. Enjoy your breath. Effortlessly. Rest in the breath. Listen to these words again as you continue to rest in the breath from the great Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh. Everything you are seeking, you should seek in the present moment. To put it in Christian terms, the kingdom of God is in the present moment. We don't need to die in order to enter into the kingdom of God. In fact, we have to be very much alive. With a mindful breath, we enter the kingdom of God. The kingdom of God is now or never. This mindful breathing is the doorway into the inner kingdom that I spoke about last month. Every time that you breathe mindfully, you open the door to presence, and you are here. Notice that this morning. One of the great current teachers of mindfulness. And I want to reiterate that mindfulness of the breath is what we're practicing, but this mindfulness can be brought to everything in your life. We just train at the breath because it's so present. It's right here for us. We can anchor easily. And then we take this mindfulness into washing the dishes. You take this mindfulness into listening to my few Dharma words this morning. You take it to driving your car, listening to music, listening to a friend. You're very present, not in the mind thinking about what you're going to say and your drama and what you want to do. Present. One of the great teachers of this kind of mindfulness now is the Venerable Bhikkhu Panakara, who I've spoken about, particularly earlier in the year when he and the, I believe, 18 or 20 monks walked 2,300 miles from Texas to Washington, D.C. with their dog, Aloka, the peace dog. Many of you followed their journey at least a little bit on YouTube, and this captured the imagination of the country, a world that is longing for peace, a country, a world that is longing for mindfulness. And many of us, as we watched that, we heard him say and talk in his Dharma about being mindful, about being present in our lives. And so a few of us that are here today had the great, great honor and privilege last Saturday of being with Bhikkhu Panakara. He came here. He was scheduled to do a talk and a program at a Buddhist temple in Azusa. And the amount of people that wanted to attend was so large that they had to close the registration. But there were a group of 10 Buddhist monks, ladies. Some of these ladies were not even Buddhist. They just had been captured by his walk and the monks earlier. Maybe some of you are like that. You don't have to be a Buddhist to appreciate the presence that they brought to each mindful step, to peace in every step, the presence that they embodied. Not through slogans and shouting and demonstrations, although he did give Dharma talks that were very simple along the way. But we were captured by that in the deepest way. 10 of these ladies formed a little group out here in Southern California. They're not even a part of a sangha like this, a community. And they were back visiting with Panakara and those monks, some of those monks and his master, I think in May or something, and they asked for an audience with him. They didn't think they'd even get an audience. They thought maybe a few minutes. He ended up spending an hour with these ladies. This led to a miracle, really, a synchronicity that is, I could do a whole Dharma talk on what happened with these ladies. But the story is short this way. Panakara agreed after this program filled up, with only 3 days to go, that he would make an appearance in Orange County. These ladies scrambled and had to get everything ready in literally 3 to 4 days. The hotel ballroom, everything. As most of you know, this is summer. It's unthinkable that they could have even found a ballroom. But there they were at the, was it the Hyatt Regency? Embassy Suites down by Disneyland. They called the ladies there who run all of the events, and the ladies said, well, here's the good news. This Saturday is the only Saturday that's available for our main ballroom. Number 2, we know about Panakara. We'll give you a discount. And tell him this. It was still pricey. But tell him that. But here's the other thing. If he will bring a loca, the peace dog, we'll make it even less money. Well, they got a hold of Panakara. He said, I guess I'll have to see what we can do about getting a loca out there. So here we were on Saturday, a few hundred people. The next day it was going to be a few thousand. And in he walks with his master, the one he has studied with all these years, holding a loca on a leash. Up they go, right? And there was one other monk that had been on the walk. And so we got to sit with Panakara and hear the Dharma from what I feel is a true living master. He's a young Thich Nhat Hanh. He embodies this presence. I said to people afterwards, and I want you to know that all of you are this, the Buddha, but there was a light and a holiness that radiates and emanates from him. Not because he thinks he's special or he's special. It's one reason. He's mindful and he practices constantly being present, right? Just like you're being present right now, right? So, I had already sent in my talk to Unity about what I was going to talk about with one mindful breath. And as I listened to Panakara, well, my talk was being written for me. I couldn't help but sit there going, well, thank you. You know, there's no preparation needed today. I'm just basically going to bring what you're talking about to the community because it's so simple. I said to somebody that when you hear a Dharma talk like this, it's like depth charges get planted in you. And it seems so simple on the surface, and then they go off in you during the week. There is a depth that begins to move in you, and you can tie it to those moments that you spend with a being like him, right? And I want to reiterate, I'm not saying he's special, because he would not say that. He's only realized what we can all realize. And his whole message now is that you can do that too. You want peace in the world? Embody peace and then bring it into the world. That was part of his message. Compassion. Compassion begins with you. Are you here? This was the main point of his talk. As he began, he said, he talked about the wars that are going on. And then he flipped it around. I thought he was talking about Iran. I thought he was talking about Ukraine, the 32 other wars that we have going on right now. But no, he surprised everyone when he turned it around and said, I'm talking about the war raging in you, the war in your mind. Are we honest? We have these wars going on in our mind. Our minds are filled with judgment. Our minds are filled with distractions. Our minds are constantly being pulled out into the world to things that don't ultimately matter. Isn't it true? And at the end of the day, no wonder we're exhausted. Our political beliefs, our religious beliefs, what am I going to do? Finance, it's all pulling at us, collectively and individually. And he asked everyone, when you saw us walk, what did you want most for yourself during that walk? Did you want peace? Everyone nodded, yeah. Did you want compassion? Yes, yes. You saw that possibility when we walked? Yes, yes. I wanted love, loving kindness in the world. He said none of this is possible unless you become mindful. This was the other depth charge. It's not enough to want peace. It's not enough to want equality. It's not enough to want compassion. He said this clearly. Only through the practice of mindfulness. And what does that mean? You all practiced it today. You're all practicing it as you look at me. You are here. You are present now in the living Spirit. Through this, peace comes. Through this, compassion arises. Through this mindfulness, love radiates from you. There is no other way, he said. And this mindfulness, this presence in us, is the light that we can bring into the world. There's no other way than through mindfulness, being present. And he talked about how the reason that we don't know this or do this is because of the constant distractions we are pulled into. You might think for a moment as I say a few more words, where's your distraction at? He calls this your lover. He says you even take this into the bathroom with you. This is how much you can't do without this. And I've talked about this before. Those of you that are really hooked to this, and I would say that if you can't go 5 minutes or you can't eat a meal without picking this up, they've got you. Listen, this was designed. Zuckerberg and all of them, Altman, all those people, this goes back even further. They sat down and they figured if we can get people hooked into this, they're no longer mindful. They're no longer present to what's actually happening within themselves and in the world. And when they're distracted, we can do what we want to do. We can sell them stuff that they don't need. We can get them in a state of constant bickering and fighting against each other because they're all going to look at their algorithms. Do you get this? We are slaves to this. And if it's not this, it's your computer. This is only one of the distractions. As I look at my own life, the way that I'm pulled into social media, the way I'm pulled into the family drama, the way that I'm pulled into the judgments in my mind, the religious and the philosophical and the political differences, which mean nothing if we want peace. This was his point. If peace is what you want, if compassion is what you want, if to be a vehicle of loving kindness is what you want, then you must turn within, because this is the only place that you will find it, and cultivate it through mindfulness, through being present with what is. Do you feel that today? It's good to take note of where we're distracted. These distractions are happening even when we don't know they're happening. I'm convinced that in my own life they have pulled the wool over my eyes so deeply, no matter how awake I think I am, I'm not. That's how deep this goes. And we're going to need that mindfulness in the coming months and years. I'll speak more about that as that unfolds. But the time to practice, as he said, is now. Can you be with your breathing as I speak a few more words? Take a breath. Where are you when you do that? In your mind, thinking about later and what you're going to do? No, now. Peace is only possible now, and it's only possible through you. Compassion is only possible now and possible through you. Loving kindness is possible now and only through you. The way to cultivate this mindfulness, of course, and as, by the way, as he was talking about distractions, before I move on, it was incredible. All of a sudden, he's literally speaking about what I'm speaking about now, about distraction, about the phone, about the other things. And all of a sudden, over on the left side of the ballroom, everybody's getting up, and they've got their phones out, and they've got their selfie sticks. And it's obvious that Aloka has wandered off the stage, and he's wandering like a bodhisattva over to the left side. And everybody literally is getting up to take in the third row because they have to see Aloka. Panakara is literally speaking about distraction, and his face lights up. He said, "Hello, I'm here. Are you here? Do you see what you're doing? This is exactly what I'm speaking about." Aloka gets up, and where do you go? Oh, forget about the Dharma. I want to see the peace dog, right? And off we go. And he made the point, how often do we do this? We say that we're going to be mindful. We say we're going to stick with it. We're going to be present in our lives, and the next shiny thing comes, and off we go. Oh, well, he called it the side paths, right out of the Tao Te Ching. These are the side paths that Lao Tzu talked about. Lao Tzu said that the great way is easy. God is easy. Being in this presence is easy because it's now. But the side paths, people prefer those. Those are more enticing. Those are more, juicy. Then I can tell my friends about it. What friend wants to hear, what'd you do today? Oh, I just sat and I was just enjoying my breathing. It was just fantastic. Really? Oh my God, that sounds dreadful. What'd you do? I went shopping. And nothing wrong with any of that, as long as you can do it with mindfulness. Go to the mall. Probably if you're mindful, you won't go to the mall anymore. So there was the distraction. I said to people afterwards, I said, it's no coincidence. Panakara could have easily tethered his leash, Aloka's leash, to his chair because he came in with a leash. But no, he let Aloka run around. And so Aloka, I'm not saying they had this set up. That's impossible. But he used this moment as a teaching moment, and we got it. Like, yes, this is what we do. This is what I do in my life. Ever driven and went, it's very dangerous, right? We're all doing this metaphorically, aren't we? In the old days, we used to call it grabbing onto the rear view mirror and trying to steer with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll get there. I know I will. Like that. Our cars are careening into everything. Our awareness is always distracted. So the way to, as Panakara said during the Q&A, he had a great question about meditation. All of you that have heard me talk before know that toward the end of the talk, this is a little secret, right? If you're going like, how long is he going to speak for? You know that when I start talking about meditation, we're getting to the end. Isn't it true, Diane? Yeah, it's true. Because you know why? This is the main course. All this that I just said to you, take a mindful breath. Feel it. Enjoy your breathing now, 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 now. That is meditation. We like to meditate on the mind, don't we? Oh, all that juicy thinking. Just beyond the mind is a space of openness and freedom and peace that awaits us. You will know that if you start to sit every day. I don't make a lot of guarantees. If you take 3 weeks, 21 days, and you practice mindful breathing, many of you have a mantra that I've given you, right, that you are using to great effect. Whatever it is, it's an object to focus on so that you're not wandering around driving like this in the rearview mirror, right? So you can, as Panakara and all the great ones have said, we have been distracted for so long by the mind. There has to be retraining to being present. You're not just going to be able to walk out today and say, I've made up my mind, I'm going to be here. And it'll look all beautiful, and probably by the time you get to your car or get home or tomorrow, oh, I can't believe what that email said, and anxiety about work or things that are going on in the world, and we lose it. This is why everyday practice is so important. And I would say this to you, those of you that think you don't have 10 minutes for mindfulness every day, to sit in the presence of the divine, I would really start to question your priorities in this life. Particularly those of you that say you want peace. Those that say you want to be helpful in terms of bringing compassion and loving kindness into the world. Do a little truth check inside. Is that what you really want? If you want that, you will make a commitment to sit every day and be still, as it says in the Bible. Surely we give 10 minutes away every day to nonsense. I do. And there's many times I do that, and you know what my thought is? I could have been meditating right now. Instead, I followed this rabbit hole down YouTube, or I watch this bit of news that doesn't serve me. It only pollutes me with more negativity. 10 minutes. 15 minutes if you're really brave. That's the sweet spot. And then a few minutes just to be still and to be mindful of the silence that will be with you, the peace, the stillness. Through this sitting, we cultivate mindfulness. We empty out the cup of our mind so that it can be filled with peace and compassion and love, and then we can bring that light into the world. Is this true? I'll finish with a story today, famous Zen story that highlights what I'm speaking about. And then I'll read some words from Panakara. There's a great story, and again, this story is right in alignment with what happened with Aloka that day, right? And many of you, as I said, have heard this story before. It's historically true. Happened in the late 1800s. There was a great Zen master who I've quoted here before named Hakuin, and he was in Japan. And so there was a university professor nearby his monastery. And this professor had many degrees and was very filled with his learnings and his intellectual knowledge. And so one day the professor thought, I've got to learn more about Zen because I don't know enough about it. As if we could know about Zen, right? Zen is another word for mindfulness, for presence. So the professor decides, like the degrees he's collected, he's going to go pay Hakuin a visit and learn about Zen. So he goes into Hakuin's study, and Hakuin is there, and they sit down, they greet each other, and boy, the professor just launches in to yet another, my learnings and everything that I know to impress Hakuin about his knowledge. And Hakuin sits there very, very patiently, asks the attendant to bring some tea. And so he reaches over and he starts to pour tea into this professor's cup. Before long, the cup overflows and it's spilling out all over the table. And at first, the professor thinks this is very odd. But then pretty soon he jumps up and he tells Hakuin, "What are you doing? The cup is already full. Can't you see that it's full?" And Hakuin smiles at him and he said, "My friend, just like this cup, your mind is full of your concepts and all of your ideas. How can I teach you Zen unless you first empty out your cup?" When we empty out our cup through mindfulness, through meditation, it's a space that can now be filled with true peace, true compassion, true loving kindness. As Panakara said, it's not possible otherwise. If you try to have these with a mind that is filled and racing and doing and going, you will only create more havoc in your life. Peace is within us. Take a mindful breath. Feel it. That mindful breath is now. This is the doorway into heaven. This is the doorway into the inner kingdom over and over again. And all we have to do is remember and not forget. As you'll hear in the final teaching that I'll just read now from Panakara, he mentions using the mindful breath for 1 minute every hour. Certainly we have time for that, just to come back to one mindful breath and to recenter so that we can come from, again, this place of mindfulness, of peace, of compassion, of loving kindness, of those qualities that we want to radiate into the world from within us. And they are only possible from within us with one mindful breath. Stay with that, and let's take another mindful breath. And again, repeat to yourself, breathing in, I arrive. Breathing out, I am free. Feel it. Feel that your mind is empty. And this empty mind doesn't mean that there's not thoughts going on. It just means that you care less about what you're thinking and more about being present in your life right now. You don't have to fight with your mind. Just come to another mindful breath. And you're home. You're free. You're home right in this eternal now, the kingdom within. Listen to these words from Bhikkhu Panakara. If you want peace, train your mind. Do not wait for the world to calm down first. Do not wait for people to stop hurting you first. Do not wait for life to become easy first. Start with your breath. Breathe with awareness. Create space for silence. A peaceful mind sees clearly. A disturbed mind creates more suffering. Take 1 minute every hour and return to your breath. When your mind wanders, bring it back. When your emotions rise, slow down. Ask yourself, can I still breathe? If yes, stay grounded in the breath. If yes, stay mindful of the breath. If yes, do not give your peace away. These are not small things. These are daily steps toward peace. Breathe again and feel those words enter you. I know that you've been given the greatest gift, the greatest anchor that you will ever be given, which is your mindful breathing. This is the anchor to the kingdom within.
Thank you, Craig, for that just fantastic Dharma talk and meditation. So powerful and so timely. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Tustin, both in person and online. I'm Jeff Pinney. I'm your platform assistant today. We're so grateful you're here. At Unity of Tustin, we believe in one God, one heart, many paths. Our mission is to transform lives and inspire people to make a positive difference in our world. We're a fully inclusive spiritual community, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we're glad you're with us. If you're here for the first or second time, our ushers are coming forward with flowers and welcome cards. If you feel comfortable, please raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. Welcome. We're so happy you have joined us. Thank you. So after the service, please enjoy food and fellowship at the hospitality table and stop by our open door welcome center and bookstore. As always, we have our Reiki practitioners wearing green ribbons and our prayer chaplains wearing white ribbons who are available at the entrance to the meditation gardens for confidential prayer and healing support. Prayer request forms are in the seat backs at the garden entrance. All requests are lovingly held by our silent prayer team. If you'd like guidance on using the labyrinth, look for a facilitator wearing a bright blue ribbon at the hospitality table or near the labyrinth. As you know, we're kind of in a transition with our labyrinth, so if you want to talk to them about how you, if you want to help on Tuesday, I think that's where we're going to do our cleanup. And just apologies for the lack of announcements this morning. So The good news is that we're in the flow and we can pivot when life happens, so we're going to do that right now. So today at 1 p.m. after service is our Sacred Circle of Light. So please join our prayer chaplains and Reiki team in the sanctuary for a soul-nourishing event of love and light. And then this Tuesday, as I was mentioning, July 21st, it's an opportunity for everyone to be part of the installation of our new labyrinth. We need all hands on deck to help lay the new bricks. We will be meeting around 9 a.m., and snacks and refreshments will be provided. And then next Sunday, July 26th, we'll be hosting Lars Howlett as our Sunday service guest speaker. Lars is a leading expert in the creation of custom labyrinths, from exact replicas of classical and medieval designs to one-of-a-kind art installations for healing, insight, and transformation. He's the artist behind our labyrinth refresh and has been lovingly funded and supported by Sue and Jim Tyner. Thank you. Thank you both. Lars will also be leading a labyrinth workshop at 1 p.m. after service, as well as the inaugural labyrinth walk. And then Sunday, August 23rd is Prayer Chaplain Sunday, where our beloved prayer chaplain team leads the entire service. So after that is our annual Unity's Got Talent show. So sign up at the welcome table or email Carol Roman. So as you can see, there is always so much happening on our campus of consciousness. So check your Friday e-newsletter and visit the welcome table for upcoming classes, events, and service opportunities. So now is the time of our love offering supporting the work of our ministry. Electronic giving options are on the screen and in the cards in the seat backs. Offering bags will also be passed as the bag comes to you. We invite you to place your hand over it for a moment to connect with the spirit of giving. We're deeply grateful for your generosity and faith. And now Craig will share our offering message and blessing.
So go ahead. So the offering is, it's really a beautiful opportunity as a spiritual practice to look at how we give in order to keep the Sangha, the community, going. I talk about this every week or every month, every time that I'm here, because again, it's miraculous for me when I show up. Everything is happening. Hitoshi was here today. Tony was here as usual. And it's just this beautiful unfolding that happens here. And it dawns on me that the reason this happens, the big reason, is because of what you give. So give in a way that supports the community so that it continues. Because the way that it continues is through your giving. And we all know that what we give comes back to us tenfold, right? 100-fold. It's incalculable the way that circle moves. Give with mindfulness. That's a good way to give. Give with this depth of not limitation, right? But with openness to giving what you can really give, and give it freely. Okay? Thank you. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Hitoshi. Your music is so beautiful, inspiring. And that song just, oof, it always gives me the feels. Thank you for all of us here and online for joining us today. As we close, please stand as we affirm the prayer for protection. So together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now go forth today with one mindful breath. Namaste. And vamos a España. Sorry, Argentina fans.